Today we're making chicken fried steak, an all-American favorite, but not any chicken fried steak. We're making chicken fried filet mignon steak. Hi, I'm Skip Hansen, and welcome to our YouTube channel, In the Kitchen and Other Places with Skip and Loretta. Here we make food videos, how to make food videos for you to make really good food at home. Would you please hit the subscribe button, and then also hit the bell button. You'll be notified when there are new videos coming out. So today, chicken fried steak, like I mentioned. And it is relatively simple, but a great technique is going to make it extra crispy. I've already shown you the fillet instead of some of the other tougher cuts. It's going to make it tender. But first I got to show you how we're going to deal with the steak. I've trimmed it up of all the fat, kind of made it kind of uniform size. And you notice this has a lot of marbling in it. It's a prime filet mignon. So what we're going to do is we need to butterfly it. You're going to lay your hand flat on it so you don't get your fingers cut. Try to get right in the middle and cut right through the middle all the way. Snacks later. So you get two pieces about an inch thick, maybe a little less, 3/4. And now we're going to pound it out a little bit. We'll take our meat mallet and we're going to not use the flat side this time. We're going to use the spike side, because although this doesn't really need to be tenderized, the little dots and holes we poke in it is going to be good for holding the breading and the seasoning. Now filet is really delicate, it's really tender, so don't go crazy. Just start giving it some pounding. There you go. And repeat with this one. This was about a 12-13 ounce filet. I trimmed off about 2 or 3 ounces. And there you have it. The reason I like to use filet is I love chicken fried steak, but it's usually made from cube steak, which is a highly tenderized round steak, top round, maybe a sirloin, and it's still never very tender. This is going to be nice and crispy on the outside with the breading, and it's going to be fork tender. All right, we're going to set up our breading station. We're going to combine the flour, seasoning mix, baking powder, cornstarch, and mix it up. In another bowl, we're going to put some buttermilk, an egg, and Frank's hot sauce. And then you'll be ready to bread. In the flour, our seasoning mix. Like I said, I'll put a recipe for it down below, or if you have your own, that's great, kind of like Lowry's or the Southwest seasoning. Mine's Southwest. Okay. About a tablespoon baking powder. Maybe half a tablespoon of cornstarch. Mix it up real good. Now for the buttermilk. Egg. 1 cup of buttermilk. By the way, if you don't have buttermilk, take a cup of milk and a tablespoon of lemon juice. Mix it up, let it sit for about 15-20 minutes. Works nice. Beat it up real nice, and you'll be ready. Now that our breading station is set up, ready to go, you got your buttermilk and your egg. I also put Frank's hot sauce in there, I forgot. And then your seasoned flour. Now, this is the hardest part. You need a wet hand and a dry hand for the best success without getting all clumpy and messed up too bad. So Take the dry hand, pick up the steak, place it in the egg wash, make sure it gets coated real well, place it in the flour. Now with your dry hand, cover with the flour, and you're still going to get a little messy anyway, but this works much better than using your wet hand into the dry flour. Pat the flour in, shake off the excess, and we're going to dip it in the egg wash again, then back in the flour. Not too bad. This comes off. This, if you were dipping it in the flour, believe me, I do it all the time. It gets messy. Pat off the excess. Place it on a plate. I've got patty paper on mine. You can use sheet paper. And repeat with the other steak. Now that your steaks are breaded, they're ready to fry. So you got kind of the hard work over. I like to use a cast iron skillet. And I use a small one like this because I do kind of one at a time, because it's just the two of us. And I can kind of control everything a little more. Now if you have a bigger family, you got to do 2 or 3 at a time. Use a large cast iron skillet. It just takes more oil. Now you want to make sure it's the right temperature. 350 degrees is what we're looking for. And you can use a meat thermometer, or I use one of these. These work real well. Infrared thermometer. We're right at 350. And the thing is, you start it at medium heat. And when you put the meat in, it's going to go down the temperature real fast. So let's start. Place the steak in the pan. Lay it down away from you so it doesn't splash on you. And you're going to want it to go probably 3-4 minutes on the first side, depending how thick your steaks are. Also depending on how hot your oil is. Like I said, the oil is going to go down in temperature real fast right after you put the steaks in. Now, while we're waiting for it to cook, there's country fried steak and there's chicken fried steak. We're making chicken fried steak today. And the difference between chicken fried steak and country fried steak is this. Chicken fried steak is deep fried. You want it to be submerged in the oil. Country fried steak is pan fried in a little bit of oil. And you make the gravy from the scrapings in the bottom of the pan in a country fried steak. And it's a brown gravy. And chicken fried steak, deep fried, and it's going to be a light white cream gravy. We will use some of the oil, but we're going to use a separate pan to do that. Okay, we've got it golden brown on both sides. You notice all the breading is stayed on, it's crispy. Carefully take it out, put it on your sheet pan with a rack, and immediately place the next steaks in. And place your steaks you've cooked in a warm oven. Food's almost done, so let's get the sheet pan ready. Heat off. Place these back in the oven, and time to make our gravy. Now for the gravy, I'm going to take, careful, this is hot. I'm going to take 2 or 3 tablespoons of the cooking oil from the chicken fried steaks in a separate clean skillet and over kind of medium heat. And about 2 tablespoons of the seasoned flour mix that you breaded the steaks with. And with a whisk, start cooking it. Pan gets hot, lower it a little bit. You don't want to burn it. Maybe a little more oil if you need it, a little more flour if you need it too. You want to get a nice roux going. It is going to be kind of light brown, but it's not going to be dark brown like if you pan fried. Let the flour cook a couple of minutes. And then slowly start to whisk in your half and half for your milk. It's going to start to thicken right away if you do it a little at a time. Let it go a couple of minutes. Now remember that flour is seasoned, but there should be no salt in it if you did salt-free seasoning like I did. If you used a seasoning with salt, then you're going to have probably enough salt in there. So once it gets to consistency where it's starting to thicken more than you want, add about half a cup of cream. You can add more cream if it gets too thick. It's kind of hard to take the cream out. Bring it back to a simmer. Make your gravy as thick or as thin as you want. It's going to be kind of medium here. Now it's time to taste it. Needs salt, because I did not put any salt in it. We're going to salt it, and we're going to be not shy with the pepper. Turn off the heat and let it sit a couple of minutes while we're getting ready to plate. Then you're going to taste it again just to be sure.
So that's how you make the best chicken fried steak you've ever had from Filet Mignon. So thanks for watching. We post videos 2 or 3 times a week, so watch for new ones. Please hit the subscribe button, also the bell button to be notified of new posts. And have a great day.